Mate, I've sold like 1,000 houses in my career. Failure.
Do you want to like walk us through how you even got to real estate?
Like basically, I'm just a boy from Remo. You know, a lot of the info, not with the younger agents these days, is the biggest problem is that they're trying to learn off a dude who's 18 on TikTok.
And do you feel like with the younger generation, they're still so fixed on material?
If you chase something, the faster it runs away.
So welcome back to another episode of the Next Gen podcast. We have one of the, greatest real estate guys I've ever met personally, 25 years of experience. He has a crazy ass story of how he got to where he is. Let's welcome Arthur to the show. How are you feeling, man?
Yeah, good mate. Good, yourself?
Yeah, pretty excited.
I don't know about great, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not too bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, appreciate the compliment, man.
Yeah, and before you start, you said you went on holiday or like a travel to Singapore, was it?
Yeah, just got back to spend Christmas in Thailand. Had a few over there.
Yeah.
And then stopped off in Singapore on the way back. Just a family holiday, not too bad.
What was the highlight of your move?
There was plenty to be fair, but probably just downtown Bangkok, out there place, totally different to Auckland, right? So awesome work.
Yeah.
What's some of the craziest stuff you did there?
Oh, mate, well, I can't really say on camera. Well, I'm going to be honest, but I had a few beers, enjoyed the time, you know how it goes. But, ping pong's quite a big sport in Thailand, so maybe got a ping pong show. Jokes.
And I guess back to like why we're here, really uncovering like how you got to where you are, like the leadership behind being the CEO of Now Realty, is it?
Yeah.
Do you want to like walk us through how you even got to real estate?
Oh man, like long story, right? So if we like rewind it all the way back, like basically I'm just a boy from Remo, Manurewa, right? And my whole life, all I wanted to be was a truck driver like my dad. And so, that got a bit boring, if I'm perfectly honest. I've always had a little bit of I call it my superpower. So like, my biggest thing is that I can really talk to anybody, right? In fact, I've got a cousin that calls me a chocolate lad. So I don't know if you know Labrador, they go up and wag their tails. Like, that's me. I just want to talk to everybody. You're right, sport.
Oh. What is that?
Should we start that one again?
Now carry on.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. So, what was the question again? That's in
Just like your journey to real estate.
A long one, like I didn't get into real estate overly early. Like I was 27, 28, did a bit of stuff prior to coming into real estate, spent a few years in the UK, travelled around. I'd love to tell you stories about how I achieved this and how I achieved that, but really I probably spent most of the time in the bar. And then I came back and it just hit me what to do. I needed something else rather than just truck driving, because that's all I ever wanted to be, was a truck driver like my dad. And so one day, I've told the story before, one day I walked into the smoko room, saw two guys who were in their 60s, sitting there, having a chat, talking about a holiday that they were planning in Australia. I asked them when they were going. They said in 2 years' time. And I said, what? Why are you planning a holiday 2 years in advance, right? And so basically, he said to me, it's because I've got to save up. And so I kind of knew then that I wasn't going to be a 60-year-old dude who took 2 years to go on a family holiday. So that's how I started with my journey to real estate. I've always been able to yarn. Like I can talk to a 2-year-old, I can talk to a 90-year-old, and we'll go off, right? And so that's always been my gift, I think. And I looked at things that I could do, because I don't have an education, I don't have anything like that. And so I looked at things that I could do. It was real estate. My mother was in real estate. And so she was, and still to this day, the best agent I've ever worked with. She's nearly 80, still selling houses, right? So she's an awesome agent. she always said to me, you should be doing real estate, you should be doing real estate. But I kind of said no. But at that point, I said yes.
So it was through like your mom that you were able to kind of start in real estate.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, you know, I think I'm like any Kiwi boy, right? Your mum's a huge influence in your life. But, you know, like, I've always been like maybe a little bit different in the fact that I don't listen too well and I'm probably a slow learner. And so she'd always say to me, man, you should come into real estate, you can talk, you can do all this stuff, you can relate to people, you'd be awesome in real estate. I just said, nah, I want to drink, I want to party, I want to chase girls. That was me, you know. So yeah, just got to that point where it's like, man, I ain't going to be 60. I ain't going to be working 70, 80 hours a week. And that's when we got into real estate. I failed my license twice. So.
And like, how old were you when you got into real estate?
27.
And when did your mom tell you to start getting into?
Oh man, like when I was about 18, 19. Yeah, harder. Because she was a top agent, right? She wasn't just an agent down the road. She was a top agent. And so her and I are very similar. We've got very similar traits. Maybe I'm a bit more harder than her, but she's been a huge influence on not only my personal life, but also my business life. So, yeah, listen to your mums.
Yeah, definitely. Is that like one thing you'd say to like the younger people, is that they should listen to people that are, I guess, older than them?
Oh, 100%, man. Like, this is the biggest thing that I not have against the younger generation. But, you know, a lot of the info, not with the younger agents these days, is their biggest problem is that they're trying to learn off a dude who's 18 on TikTok. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the dude ain't done shit. Like, legit.
Yeah.
Right? And then they come in and they bring all these things that have never worked, never been tried. When you got dudes like myself, like who are older, we got dudes in our office who are like 40 years plus in real estate, right? But a lot of the young people, because they're not cool, because they're not, you know, I don't know, got a IG page or something like that, they don't listen. But these are dudes, like, mate, I sold like 1,000 houses in my career. Why would you listen to a dude on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube than the dudes who have done it, right? So what I would say to the younger generation, open your mind. I had a dude in one of my offices, John Mott, right? He was in his 70s. Now, this time I was like #1 real estate salesperson in my brand, my company, you know, in New Zealand. This dude probably sold about 2 or 3 houses a year. But he'd been in real estate for like, I don't know, since Moses was a baby type of thing. Right? And so, everybody took him like a joke. But I would listen to him. I'd pick up little things. Like I've said this before. I've never had an original idea in my life.
Damn.
But what I do is I listen and I pick up things from people and then I make it my own. And so this dude who sold maybe 2, 3 houses a year, listen, then I'll pick something up, boom, in my brain, make it mine, make it better. It sells me 70, 80 houses a year.
And like, in terms of listening, do you think you would listen to everything he says or like what?
No, like listen, take it in, right? And it's like me. I make mistakes all the time, so don't listen to everything I say, even though I try to make the agents listen to me. No, just like absorb it. And something will click. You know, not everything. Like you go to I don't know, any motivational speaker or, you know, even stuff like this, usually it's like blah, 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 and then they'll do one. You know, and that's your body and your brain will resonate with something. That's what you're taking.
Okay, so you said that you have the ability to listen, that you have a gift, honestly. How do you think you've like gained this skill and like honed in on it over the years?
It's like anything, man. You practice. Like Tiger Woods don't go out onto T1 and then just knock the ball in, right? I think Michael Jordan does 1,000 shots a day when he was playing. You know, like, you've got to practice this stuff. Yeah, I was good at yarning, but when I was yarning to the truck drivers, every second word was F. You know, so like, you can't do that. So what you've got to do is like, I really study people. And, like I spoke to you earlier about, your heritage. And so you study how people move and then you try and mimic what they do. And so it's really about trying to gain rapport. Like for me, I could always talk to anybody. But if I effed and blinded to, 90-year-old grandma, I ain't getting the business.
Yeah.
So you've got to be able to adapt and relate. And so it's just a matter of practice. And sometimes you get wrong. I'll chat left bomb and these sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah. And you seem like a pretty confident guy, not gonna lie. Is there I don't know, where do you get such confidence to be able to talk to so many people? Is that just innate or?
Bro, confidence comes from your belief that you can do something. I see a lot, I always say this. There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance, right? So what I define arrogance to be, or confidence to be, is saying you're going to do something, knowing how to do it, and then doing it. What arrogance is that you say you're going to do something and have no idea how to do it and don't do it, right? So when I speak, when I'm with confidence, it's because I know what I'm talking about, right? Am I going to talk with this confidence to Richie McCaw on how to play rugby? No. Right? But what I have is confidence within myself. And that's what you've got to look at is the internal confidence, not the external. This hasn't always been me. And everybody suffers from imposter syndrome. You know what imposter syndrome is? Right, man, I'm in boardrooms with some of the best people in real estate, millionaires all around me, right? And then there's times when I think, man, you're just a Māori boy from Manurewa. Of course you do. But if you have confidence in what you do, and this is what I say to the young dudes, don't speak to me with confidence because you ain't done nothing. When you do it, come. Till then, listen to what I tell you to do because what I've done enables me to do that with confidence. So confidence and arrogance. Right. And I think I speak with confidence.
Yeah. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, regarding your confidence, who are some of the people in your life that have pushed you to be more confident at times where you felt like you weren't, when you felt that imposter syndrome?
Man, 100% me. I don't know, man, there's something always been inside me where I just want to show it out people. Yeah. If that makes sense?
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's our upbringing or whether it's, and I don't mean stick it to them, but if someone wants to go, then we give you a go. Do you know what I mean? So it's not, I don't know, it's always been in me. When I feel these feelings, you got to push them down. I've great support with my brother, I've already mentioned my mother, my family, everything, great support. But when it comes to standing up for my agents, that's me. That's me.
Right. And then you mentioned you had a pretty intense morning routine where you wake up at 4:30 while I'm still sleeping in my bed. Yeah, walk us through that.
What my day looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 4:30 up every morning, cold shower, headphones on. I'll take in something, and when I take something in, it's got to be for the betterment of either myself or my team. So, I look at, I don't just grab music or whatever, I'll sit there with my headphones on, bang, and take in usually about 15 to 20 minutes of something. I like those short, podcasts. So I take that in and then I'll try and act it out through the day. 5 o'clock, out the door, in the gym. I've got a great set of mates. We've got a team of about 5 of us at the gym. And those dudes keep me grounded. It's really important to have people around you who don't give a shit about what you've achieved or what you do or how much money you make, but still want to push you.
Yeah.
Who are genuinely happy for you. So we go to the gym and we're usually there from about 5:30 to 6:30, 7 o'clock. And we'll have coffee. We call ourselves a coffee club. So we just feed on each other.
Yeah.
And from there, breakfast, shower, into the office, check out my agents. I'm always like, and Muda will tell you, like my messages, when something pops in my brain, straight into the group chat for the team. Not all of it's good, but they'll tell me whether it's good or not. Like my whole day is to serve my team. My whole day. How can I do better? And I'll go and visit as many of my team as I possibly can. David, my brother, and Nick and Benjamin, who are other directors within our group, we'll sit and plan. We've got Hen, who's our sales manager, we'll catch up. But yeah, that's pretty much my day, man. And then I try and, you know, my daughter's very hard into sport. My son's just started working for us. So yeah, try and catch up with them.
So pretty much your whole day is just to serve others.
100%. If you're serving yourself, you'll fail. Right? And that's a lot of things that I see. You know, like, check out Instagram and all that crap, you know, with dudes wanting Lamborghinis and that shit will come. Right? But if you're not serving, like these people choose to be in my team. Like that's a huge honor and responsibility. Huge. So my day, like I'm texting these dudes at like 10, 11 o'clock at night. But everything that I do is for the betterment of them, not me. Because the betterment for me will come when they succeed. Right? So that's how I build my company and my philosophies around.
Yeah. And is that mainly the reason you do everything? Like for the betterment of others?
100%. Definitely. You know, like, because the byproduct of you looking after people is they look after you. So you've got to really put people first, man. Like, have I got a boat? Yep. Have I got a flash car? Yep. Have I got a big house? Yep. But, you know, like that's secondary to like seeing dudes grow. You know, like this office here, when we came to this group, so Benjamin Neal, who's at this office here,
Yeah.
like been doing real estate 18, 20 years. Well, I said, Benjamin, you've got to grow. Let's help you grow. Like my biggest thrill would be for me to go to one of my team's office openings, whether I'm involved or not, and them acknowledge me for helping them. So that is why I do stuff.
So it's never about the money.
I don't give a shit about money. Like anybody who knows me knows I don't give a shit about money. You know, that, like if you give back to people, that stuff will come. If you put the money first, you'll always fail. Always fail. Whether it be, you know, you might have $1 billion,
Yeah.
but you'll have a shit, nobody likes you. You know, so put people first, man.
Is that like the motto as well? Is that the motto?
Yeah, I've got a few mottos.
Can you name at least 2 or 3?
Oh, look, control what you can control. You know, like even I failed in that one quite a few times because, you know, I don't know if it picked up, but I can be very like forthright, right? And try and push your views onto people who may be pushing back.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. So probably that would be my number one is control what you can control. And then don't look, and this is super hard. I struggle with this sometimes. Quite a bit actually.
Yeah.
You know, like the external validation before the internal. Right? So you should always be looking at, so have I done what's best? Not for these guys to say, hey man, you're awesome because you made $1 million. Yeah, but how did I make that $1 million? If you don't feel comfortable about how you made that $1 million, give it back. You know, so I'm always looking to, and like you fail. And the more success you have, the more external noises come. So you've really got to work on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you talked about like having your gym group, your coffee club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wanted to know, where did you meet those people?
At the gym. Bro, I've always, I can walk into that Nando's across the road, and I'm not kidding you, man, within 5-10 minutes, I'll be yarning to people, we'll be probably changing numbers and hooking up for drinks at some point. right? Like I've always been able to attract people. I don't know what it is, because maybe I'll just say hello. You know, how simple is it to say hello? Most people just like pretend they can't see each other. So I just met these people at the gym, and then we've just become friends, and that's how it goes. But good people. Surround yourself with good people. Because I meet a lot of people who are assholes.
How do you like tell the difference?
So you can tell.
Like just the first meeting them, or
Yeah, like within probably about 10 seconds.
what are the signs?
Them talking about themselves, not listening. Not listen. Like I'll say hello, but then I'll listen. You know, someone who you say hello, or they say hello to you, and they're just blah, 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 blah. Especially if it's about themselves.
Yeah.
You know, and this is where experience comes in, I think. Like you young dudes, you know, you'll learn.
Are we good people?
Well, it depends what the edit's like. But I reserve judgment to you.
Yeah, that was good.
So you talked about like how being able to tell about if a person's good or not. Have you ever caught yourself falling into those traps of
All the time.
being a good person?
All the time. And sometimes you fail. Yeah, sometimes you fail, right? But as long as you've got the ability to pull you back, and then that's why you surround yourself with the people who can pull you back. You know, like, you know, even just recently I've been an idiot. And then my mates will go, you're an idiot. You're a dickhead. Right? And it's just like, oh, yeah, actually I am a dickhead. And so it's just being able to recognise, because you're human. Man, who doesn't like fast cars? Who doesn't like boats? Who doesn't like, you know, who doesn't like that stuff? But as long as it doesn't consume you, you know, that's when you've got to pull yourself back. When the exterior adulation from people starts to, you know, consuming you, and you start to not only believe it could be true, but, you know, wanting more and more, that's when you've got to pull yourself back. And sometimes you've got to go within yourself to say, hey man, you're a dickhead, mate, surround yourself with good people.
And like, do you think that's one of the key to being a good real estate agent as well? Is like having people that keep you grounded and keep you focused, or
when you get into real estate, the temptation to make fast money is there, because these are like 40, 50, in some cases $100,000 plus transactions in one go. So there's opportunities to kind of make some money now, but not think long term, right? And so if you surround yourself with people who think like that, then you won't have a long career. I've been lucky, you know, nearly 25 years of real estate, because I've always surrounded myself with people who would rather do the right thing rather than the quick thing. And I think that's extremely important. Like when you go and pick an office where you go and work for, check it out. Like if you're into making fast cash and having a short time and having a bad name, go for your life. You know, I can give you numbers myself. Give me a call. I'll give you some numbers. You can go. But if you want to build, and again, it's about helping people. Like I'll tell you a story. Like I know nothing about houses. Right? I've sold 1,000 houses in my career, but I know nothing about a house. If you said to me, what's that cladding there? I would have no idea. What's this? No idea. What's the report? No idea. But what I do know is that these people put the responsibility into me. It's an honor to get that. And so I get them every last bit that I can, right? That's what it is. Real estate, just like anything, has got nothing to do with the commodity. It's got nothing to do with houses. It's all about people. Right? Look after the people, they keep coming back. And again, then you get the financial benefit from it.
so always focus on the people first.
Is there anything else? Right, legit. Right. Yeah.
I know this kind of deviates for like focusing on people first, but like, what's the most expensive house you've ever sold?
For me, I'd work out south, right? So they weren't overly expensive houses. We sold a lot of houses, but I did sell a block of land in Takanini once for $12.5 million. This was probably early 2000s. So, you know, like that was a huge deal. Other than that, like, man, I just get off on helping like your mum and dad. You know, like the 6, 7, and 800,000s who have to get every last cent to go live by the grandkids in Australia, right? That's my first sale. My first sale is at Salmon Place in Weymouth. First sale, I remember it. And grandparents, they'd lived there for, I don't know, 30, 40 years, right? Brought up their family. The grandkids had gone to Australia. They had to sell to go to Australia. I sold them their house. They got to spend, and I'd say that was so many years ago, their lives would have ended by now, but they got to spend the rest of their lives with their grandkids because I did my job. So, I can't even remember what the question was now.
That was good.
So you talked about like being able to get rewards from the people you help, and they get like an emotional reward as well as a monetary reward. How would you say that like that makes you feel? It makes you feel great. How could you put that in words?
You can't really. Like, how do you put people putting like their biggest asset, their family's biggest assets, and the trust into you? Like, there is no words. You know, like, I don't know. It's just something like when you genuinely help someone, you don't even have to talk. You know, yeah, you're going to say thank you and you're going to say, here's a gift from me and here's a gift from you. But it's really like the look, you know, like, you know, they know. And then the biggest compliment they could ever give you is that they would then give your name to somebody else. Well, that's the biggest gift that you will ever have. And so sometimes when people chase money, they don't do what's right and they never get that gift. Because who's going to recommend an arsehole? Do you know what I mean? So stay true to them and that gift will keep giving, because they'll give you one and then they'll give you one and then they'll give you one.
And for like younger people who are looking to, you know, buy a house or get into real estate, what advice would you give them?
If they're going to buy a house, very tough. Like, man, you dudes now struggle, you know, with the deposits and everything like that. It's a tough road to hoe. You know, just make sure before you commit to anything that, you know, like, it's a big call for 20, 30 years. Like, if I was me, I would find an agent that I really like. I know that people go to open homes and, you know, you'll meet different agents. Like, find one. If you're buying a house, like, find one. We've got a guy in our office, Tommy Garcia, and I always see people who are buyers end up as his vendors because he's actually gone and done work for them in their buying phase. So maybe look for someone who's going to have your back, right? Be very aware though that as agents, our fiduciary duty is for our vendor, so we are looking for the most that we can get for our vendor from a buyer, right? But just get some advice from your trust. And one advice I tell you right now, don't believe Uncle Bob's third cousin's sister's daughter who bought a house in 1946. Telling you, man, I've seen so many deals and so many people miss out on houses because the dad comes in the day who's an accountant, nothing to do with, doesn't know anything about houses, but I've heard Bob say that this house is rubbish. So, you know, get advice from professionals. If I had to give advice to people starting out in real estate, like, first thing, man, is like, check it out. Like, if it's for you, like, don't check it out from Instagram. That's my number one advice. Do not check it out on Instagram, because that is bull. You know, my top guys, these are guys who make millions and millions of dollars. They grind the heck out. And so for me, it's all about, man, do your due diligence. Because this game ain't for everybody. In fact, the first 1, maybe 2 years, you'll make more money at the Chico and Pick and Save than you will in real estate. That's fact. You know, so temper your enthusiasm with some reality.
Okay, guys, we're back. Had some technical difficulties, but I guess we'll move on to the next question. Yeah.
Okay, so you talked about your like support system. People say that the 5 people you surround yourself most are a combination of who you are. Who are those 5 people for you?
Good question.
That's a hard one, right? Because, yeah, the 5, to be fair, I find bits in everybody. You know, like I talk about my coffee club, you know, I've got big 6'4" islanders, I've got tiny white people, you know, I've got everybody, right? So we're like mixing everything, you know? And so we pick bits of everybody. I find a lot of time in myself. Like, I think everybody says, you know, you should get something from everybody, and I do, even my agents. Well, I've got a couple of agents there, you know, and people make fun of them, but they always bring something to you. So yeah, I get it. The 5 you frequent the most, they're going to be the most influential, right? But I really find that you should be spending a lot of people don't spend enough time with themselves. I think sometimes we're too busy looking for the answers from other people when you need to find it from you. So I'd be suggesting a lot of time reflecting, you know, like I do in the mornings, you know, just find that space. And I don't mean like, I don't mean all that stuff, right? I mean genuine, like, what did I do well? What didn't I do well? And how can I help my people, right? I don't say my people, that sounds my team.
Yeah.
How can I help my team?
Your team is your people.
Yeah. You know, so yeah, I get it. 5 people, and I've got heaps, man. Well, the great thing with Great White too is like everybody's accessible. So, you know, bring the CEO, Daniel Colson, have a beer, whatever, anytime, all our team. So you pick up from those people all different ideas. But yeah, I reflect in yourself as well.
Okay, so we'll move on to about your leadership.
Yeah.
So you said you sold a lot of houses. When did that go from selling houses to becoming a manager for people selling houses?
For me, generally, probably about 3 or 4 years ago when I stepped away from selling and just focused. I always had a leadership role within every business that we had, right? My mother owned the businesses, and I was the top agent within those businesses, so I always had leadership. But true leadership is when you just focus 100% on the betterment of people before yourself. So when you're selling, you know, like, yeah, Arthur Subritzky's number 1, Arthur Subritzky, blah blah blah. So you're very self-centric, right? You're pushing it. So even though I was leading people, it was always me first. So when I ended that and put people first, that's when it truly became. I always had an ability to lead, right? Always had that, you know, like at school or whatever. You could lead people, but again, it's for yourself. So probably about 3 or 4 years ago when we took over this and made a conscious decision, we are not selling. We're just going to lead and manage people. And I think, look, I don't blow my own trumpet, but you know, like the success that we've enjoyed over that time period has shown that it's a successful mix. It's very simple how I lead. Very simple. Like I would never ask anybody to do anything that I would never do. Right? Or something that I have never done. I'll always make sure that my people my team are safe. Like, I'll give you a quick story, right? This is my philosophy. Do you guys know where Aonui Hotel, Aonui is? So Aonui is this tiny little town, 8 kilometres north of Kaitaia. That's where my family's from, right? And so, I don't know, I must have been about 16, 17, and I'm in the pub with 2 of my uncles. and they're drinking with their friends. And me and my cousin are sitting there and we're having some beers. And then my uncle, and we'll call him Ralph, and my other uncle called Gary, we'll call him that, right? And so I've got another uncle, his name's Ken. And so Ken is famous in the far north for doing as little as possible, right? But I'll give him this. He now owns one of the biggest businesses in the far north, right? But he's probably similar to myself, likes the yarn, doesn't like a shovel. But we're sitting in the pub, or we're standing in the pub, and we're drinking away, and my uncle's drinking away. And my uncle Ralph goes, you know, F that Ken, he's effing useless, he's hopeless, he's so lazy, rah. And then my uncle Gary goes, yeah, Ken's well, not an idiot. He's like, yeah, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. And everybody knows Ken doesn't do that stuff, right? So they're going away. Next minute, one of his mates goes, yeah, Ken's lazy as... My uncle smacks him out, drops him. And it's like, you can't talk about my brother like that. And I was like, bro, you didn't say that. But, you know, and in that instance, I knew exactly what the lesson was there. Right, I can talk about my people, my family, my team like that. You can't. Right, so that's a lesson that I got taught in the Anu Hotel, but one that I've carried with me the whole time. Like, if you're with me, you're with me. Right? And no one, as much as I can help, will ever get to you. Even if you do something wrong, they'll never get to you, but I will. And that's how we kind of run our teams, right? Very, very simple. And just like in a family, a mum and dad don't love one son more than the other son, and one daughter more than the other daughter, right? They don't do that. They love them all equally. And so when I see businesses that this guy gets preferential treatment because of this, mate, if Benjamin Neal needs a rock-up and he's had them too, I'll give it to him. You know, nobody is different from anybody else. And so that's how we lead.
I really like that stuff.
That's a memorable one.
Yeah. So would you say that's like the main leadership, like ideology that you use in your teams?
Well, it's like anything, man. Like, you know, we are a family-run business. It was started by my mum. Now me and my brother run it with the help of Benjamin and Nick. And, you know, like, family has got to be the most important thing, right? So, family people. So if these people choose to be within your family, then you just got to treat them that way. You know, these are not money horses. These are not piggy banks that you kind of pull out. So, am I going to get stuck into them if they're not pulling their weight? Of course I am. Just like your old man would give you a clap across the ears if you didn't do the dishes or something like that, right? It's the same principle. Like, it's the same principle. But everything that your dad does, every time he does that, it's for your betterment. Right? It's not like I'm going to go, you know, don't drink that toilet water or someone's going to smack you in the head. You know what? That's not what it's about. It's like, hey man, this is going to help you. I know you don't like it, but if you do it, you will see the benefit from it. And so sometimes my agents, and I know, they look at me and think, this guy's a dickhead. What the hell is he going on about? Why is he putting his money there or making us do this? It's because I want to see you get better, not because I want to, you know, punish you. It's like, man, this is for you. You know, and sometimes I'll admit it, sometimes my ways don't work. I get it. But everything we do is never for a punishment. It's never for hurting you, it's to help you.
And like, you said that some of your ways don't work. Like, did you come across that through like reflection?
Right, through failure. Failure. And so, like, man, I've had heaps of failures. But you have a failure, you can either do one or two things, right? You go, nah, and cry there and give up. Or you go, okay, I felt there, what can I learn to make different next time? And if that fails, well, why did I fail that? That fails, you do it again. then you do it again, and you do it again. The people that get ended, you know what you asked me earlier, how the hell did I get to the top? Sometimes I don't even know, right? So I don't. But maybe it's because I had more failures than anybody else. And then at some point it clicked. Oh, you know, maybe this is meant to kind of test me. And then, because a lot of people just give up. Like 2007, right? 2007, I'd go to bed and wake up the next day and there's 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 in my bank account. I can't even remember how I got there. You know, the money was flowing. It was going, oh yeah, man, awesome. Like I drove a Porsche, I had a bar in the Gold Coast, or I had all this stuff, right? So you think, oh, this is easy. Bang, 2008 comes, GSC, all over. So a lot of people were like, man, that's the end of this, real estate sucks, blah, blah, blah. I stuck to it. What did I learn? I learned don't buy Porsches, don't buy cars on the Gold Coast, and then model your business around the tough times, not the good times, right? Because the good times are easy. We just had one, 2021. Mate, we had idiots in this game making hundreds, if not millions of dollars a year. Where are they now? Gone. So you've got to have those tough times, because what they do is they show you the way, and then when it's good times,
Like 10x your.
yeah. Because if you only know the good times, because that was a tough lesson, man. 2000, I came this close, like this close, to like pulling the pin, going back truck driving and doing something like that. But you learn to moderate yourself. You learn to do business in those tough times. Once you look at my teams now, like we've had tough markets, all our numbers are up. So I know that when the good times come again, which are very soon, these guys are going to kick ass, right? Because we've managed them and they've managed themselves through the tough times. So welcome the tough times. Welcome failure. Welcome failure. Don't push it away and go, become resilient. Resilience is a thing that the younger generation lack compared to Gen X.
Yeah. Okay, three things that Gen X has over Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and Gen Beta.
Bro, the ability of resilience. You know, like we grew up by ourselves, basically. Like the ability to just get a situation and know how to handle it. Anything that comes on a Gen Xer, majority of them, you know, good or bad, they know how to handle it. You know, I've been stuck in the middle of the Watermatta Harbour with my outboard not working. On a bike, right? My outboard. I know nothing about engines. But I pull off the top and I fiddle with some stuff, spray some stuff. I don't even know what I did. And then I crank it up again and she's gone. You put a Gen Z in that situation, bro. I'll probably drown. I'll probably sink that boat, right? But that boat will end up in Chile. You know, like Gen X are very lucky. Would I be a Gen Z? Nah. Like I'm 50 years old, right? And man, I could probably still outdo a lot of these younger dudes. So for me, resilience and just the ability to adapt and take control of situations, I find that very few and far between in the younger generation.
Is there any way we can like improve on this?
Listen, you dudes, like I struggle. My biggest struggle. I see so many young guys come in and not listen. Like, if I could do anything and employ you to do anything, let's listen and learn. Sometimes you younger, and I was the same. You know, my old man would try and teach me something. I know better. You know, this is better than your way, whatever. And I'll tell you, I wasn't. So you just kind of, it's not trying to change everything. So like, don't change the wheel, just put rims on it. Do you know what I mean? But listen. Listen, we've been through it. My biggest thing is I tell these guys is not for what you should say, is what don't you say. Right? So I've made the mistakes. I've been to houses that nobody's liked me. I've been to houses that have got wrong. I can help you not have to make those mistakes if you listen. If you don't listen, like I'd rather, you can have the flashiest looking in the sky, most beautiful girl, looks great, whatever, don't listen, don't want you. Like I don't care if you look like me. If you listen, you will go places.
So just listening.
Listen and learn, but learn from it. Don't just like, man, I think a lot of times I'll sit up in the meetings, I can see people like, yep. And they know it's a good idea. They know it's going to help them. Do they use it? No. You know, combination of laziness, probably stubbornness. You know, like these things are here to help you. Like just implement them, even if it's the tiniest little bit, implement them. Never get headstrong and say, no, my way is better. Try something. You know, and like I get stuff from my younger dudes too. Like I know nothing about social media. You know, but I'll ask them, hey, what would happen if we do this? What would happen if they did it? So I'm learning too. Like you're old, young, whatever. Just keep learning. The minute you stop learning is the minute you die.
Okay, you talked about your team and your people. So, what are some qualities that you look for in people? You said listening, communication. What are some other qualities that you look for when adding to your people to your team?
I'll tell you, if I'm employing someone, and it's along those last same lines, like I can teach you anything about houses, to how to sell them. I can teach you anything. I know this industry inside out, right? My team can help you everything. I can coach anything if you're prepared to listen. The only thing I cannot coach is work ethic. So that I can't coach, and I can tell people if they've got work ethic. You know, that is the hardest. Well, you can't coach it. You either have it or you don't. And so the first thing I look for is when people come to see me, is what's their work ethic like? And if they've got good work ethic, but they might be rough around the edges, you know, check me out, right? They might be rough around the edges and they might not say or didn't go to the right schools or whatever, you know, but if they can grind, then I'll help them. If you want Arthur Subritzky to make you $1 million, out the door, I don't care what you look like. Yeah, so that's probably, and then other qualities like, you can tell if somebody, if you know when somebody's a good person. I'll ask them about their home life, I'll ask them what they enjoy doing, I'll ask them all these types of questions, and then you'll get a picture of somebody.
Ooh, what's your favorite kind of car?
Man, I'm more a boat dude, right?
Okay, what kind of boats do you have? Do you have like a super yacht?
Nah. I have a nice boat.
Is it the one that broke down?
Nah, I still have that boat though. I got 2 boats, right? I still have that boat. That's the boat me and my mates go away fishing and there's blood and guts and everything like that. The other one is for when you want to cruise the harbour and have a few drinks and a barbecue. So yeah, that's kind of my thing. But I'm not really. I've got a nice car now. I've got an Audi RSQ8. Like, that's a cool car. But yeah, I've gone past that. I think those things go. I don't have a favourite.
And do you feel like with the younger generation, they're still so fixed on like material things?
You dudes, that's all you dudes are about. That's the biggest fault of this generation. Is everything's tied up in materialistic stuff. But, you know, that's not to say I don't like it either. You know, I like a nice watch, I like whatever. But it doesn't wrap me. It doesn't, like every time I see, but I'll tell you, Kim Kardashian's quite a good businesswoman, I'll give you that. But, you know, like all those Insta posts, that's all bullshit. I saw one, I won't name her, I saw one real estate agent from Papatui in front of a super yacht with something like, you know, another day in the life of a boss bitch or something like this, right? The chick had a 2-bedroom unit in Papatui for sale. That was her one listing. Yet she's on Instagram out the front of a super yacht, pretty much saying this is my yacht because I'm a rich. Bullshit. And it's all crap. Do I like my stuff? Of course I do. Am I wrapped up in it? No. Is the younger generation? Yes, 100%. Let it go. Let it go.
And focus on people, right?
Focus on people. Because, like, you get a Lamborghini. Oh, cool. This is awesome. For what? 2 weeks. And then a McLaren, then more. You know, so you're always chasing. I think one of the biggest, this is a lesson that I learned too, is that if you chase something, the faster it runs away. Right? If you stop, things come to you. If you stop, and that person who we're chasing after, you stop, what do? They don't run off faster. They slow down. They walk. And then they probably turn around and see if you're okay. You know, so the lesson I've learned is stop chasing. Stop like comparing yourself to this dude or that dude. I was a huge one for that because I'm very competitive. Don't know if you picked that up. But I'm very competitive. So I'd always be like, oh, what's this office doing? Or what's that office doing? But what happens is that you just kind of like, okay, I caught that one. What next? You know, so like, again, about looking within, right? So a piece of advice for me is like, stop chasing. They just run faster.
Definitely. And what do you think separates like a good leader from an excellent leader?
Remembering that it's for people. But we are not bosses. Like everybody goes, they call me boss. Like I'm not your boss. I serve you. I work for you. Like you don't work for me. I work for you. And I think sometimes what leaders do or bosses is that this is mine, you know, and they forget. Okay, it's just all people. You know, I am not, yes, am I labelled as the head? Yes, do I make decisions for everybody? Yes, I do, right? But those decisions are based around what's best for everyone within this company, not what's best for Arthur Subritzky. Like I've had to make a decision recently that would it have benefited Arthur Subritzky? 100%. 100%. My company would have made more money, but would it have benefited the agents and would the agents have liked it? Would the team have liked it? No, they wouldn't have. So I chose not to make that call. If I made some calls at the South Centre, I'd probably have a lot more money than I do right now, right? But I think that's what makes the difference. And just being able to do stuff. If my team needs me, I am there. No questions asked, right? So I don't know if you call me a great leader, right? I'm just a leader that I have beliefs. My belief is that I'm here to serve, not to dictate, right?
What does dictating look like?
Dictating is when you must, right? That's dictating, and it's usually with decisions. I will say that sometimes. I will say this to people, but it's not for my benefit. Like, if I see an agent who's not doing enough calls, I say, look, you've got to do more calls. Why do I say that? It's because by doing more calls, you're going to get more appointments, you're going to get more money. I'm not going to make a decision based upon Subritzky making more money because like the database can be accessed by everybody. Right? So a dictatorship is being and not seeing their point of view. If they say to me, my team know that they can come to me or David and say, I think you guys are wrong. And then if we find that we're wrong, we're wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, nobody's perfect, man. But if you just keep dictating to people, they become fearful of you. And then you kind of lose a bond and you lose the trust. I know people can be a bit fearful of me sometimes when I get into the state. But again, it's because we care.
Should we do a quick fire run?
Yep.
Okay.
Water or Coke?
I would have. 100%.
Nike or Adidas?
And Nike. Jordan.
Mac or Windows?
Bro, if you know anything about me, you know I had no idea about computers. I don't even know what that is.
Okay, Apple, iPhone or Samsung?
Oh, iPhone. I think it's simple. It's probably crap. I know everybody tells me Samsung's way better. Like,
What's the brand you're wearing?
Polo, Ralph Lauren.
Yeah, Ralph Lauren or Louis Vuitton?
Bro, probably because I could probably afford Polo. I'll get a Polo.
Just a quick question. I want you, because you say you like boats, right? Any cool boat story? I love being in the water.
Any cool boats to me? Oh yeah. So I don't like. So I'm from the far north, right? And up there's a place called Hull, and so it has a bar. And I shouldn't be telling the story because it goes against everything that I say, right? And so, admittedly, I'm not going to lie, there's a few beers consumed. We had a few, oh man, I should not be saying this. We had a few beers consumed. And we're cruising around and we get this brilliant idea because we had 3 boats and there's about 12 of us. And so we're sitting, we're all drinking, fishing, yahooing inside the bar, and then we decided, what a great idea, we all jump on one boat, and then we cross the bar. And so we're absolutely drunk. And we jump on, there's one life jacket. The bar, we get halfway across the bar and decided, maybe this wasn't the greatest idea. But then it's too late because once you get in a bar, man, you got to keep going, right? So we're trucking through this bar, and like we're laughing, but really we're crying inside. Anyway, I don't know if you've been to the far north, but everybody's a little bit larger than me, and so we're sitting there. There was 12 of us on this 1 6-meter boat. Stupid. I've got this cousin. He's probably about 6'6". Back then, he would have been about 150 kgs. He's in the anchor well. He's stuck in the anchor well. So if this boat goes over, he ain't getting out. And it's like, get in the cabin. I look at everybody else. There's one other guy my size. We're the fastest guys by about 100 years. There's one life jacket in the middle. He looks at me. I look at him. And he's thinking the same thing as me. If this shit goes bad, then we're having the toughest one. Everybody else is too fat to make it in the life jacket. Oh, right. Anyway, long story short, we nearly died. Didn't need the life jacket. Most stupid thing we've ever done. Never do it again. Don't do that. My cousin, I think we had to wedge him out of the anchor well. He's still alive today, one of the richest men in the far north, but yeah, stupid. I can tell you heaps of others, man, but they all along the same lines. Don't drink and bloke. That's my new motto.
And I think finally, what's like one message you have to the next generation?
Next generation, learn from the previous one. Like, just learn. Like, the age does not define your relevance. You know, so like 50, 70, 80, they all have stories to share that you can learn from. Right? So yes, improve on it. Like I said to you, I've never had an original idea in my life, but I've got an idea that's resonated with me, and then I've made it my own, and I've made it better. And so that's what you want to do, is not come in there with, we're going to change the world. Some things you will, like AI, and that's freaky stuff. But, you know, like generally you'll go into a business where there's been generations before you. Just learn from them. Learn from them what they did well, what they didn't do well especially, and then you'll be fine. And be good people. You know, money ain't everything. It's cool to have. Don't get me wrong. And when it's time to pay my daughter's private school tuition, I'm on the phone to the accountant. Where's my money? You know? But it ain't nothing if people think you're a dickhead. Well, the people who you care about think you're a dickhead. I don't give a shit what other people think. They think I'm a dickhead. Heaps of people do, by the way. I think I'm a little bit unhinged, to be fair. But, you know, don't worry about it. And that's another thing. I think that this next gen are very scared of failure. I don't give a shit if I succeed or not. Of course I want to, but if I fail, I fail. You learn from it and you go to the next step. Don't be scared to fail. And don't listen to everybody. You say that, like I told you, out of school 16, from Manurewa, Māori boy, I should not be where I am. And if I'd listened to people previous, I wouldn't be here. You know, if you think you can do it, if you know you can do it, I know I can do this. If you know you can do it, don't listen to the haters, man, because they'll try and pull you back all the time. Just do it. If you fail, so what? Do it again. And if you fail again, do it again. Right? So that would be my, a little bit of everything, that little advice, but that would be my advice. Just do it. Nike.
Yeah.
What's one thing you do like about the new generation? There must be something.
Oh, bro,
Like one thing, like, you know, like something you do see, like.
I like their ability to question. See, when I was brought up, we never questioned an adult. Well, you got to hide them. I'm not even kidding. You spoke when you weren't spoken to.
Yeah. I think it's still sometimes it still happens to us, you know. It's not for all people. Sometimes, especially in like more older parents, it still happens to us.
Yeah,
smacking still come.
Yeah, I smack it. Hey, man. I'm going to say it doesn't happen, but you know, like back then, you never questioned ever a policeman, an adult, or whatever. What I like about you dudes, and even sometimes it shocks me when people come to me and say, I don't think that's right. I'm like, but a lot of the time they're right. And so, like, I really love the curiosity of this generation. I really love their ability to question and question authority. You know, you guys see something that's wrong in the world, like you guys question it. We never. Like, man, Springboks came to, I don't know if you do know the Springboks, but Springboks came to New Zealand. Pretty much everybody was looking forward to it, even though they were pressing black. We're getting off the track here, right? But you guys question stuff. We never did that. And I think that will mean, if you use it properly, that you'll get to where I am or where other people are a lot quicker than what we would have done.
So there you go, guys. This has been A.M. Abdizane with author, great man, really smart, so influential. 25 years of real estate experience, and yeah, so glad you can join us today.
We look forward to seeing you again. We want you back.
See, thank you.